Welcome to CKN.PODCAST. Welcome to CKN.PODCAST.
All right, what's up, y'all? I'm Cam.
What's up, y'all? I'm Nailah.
My name's Karthik.
So this is a podcast dedicated to all things music production and new music.
Yeah.
The point of the podcast is to get a better sense of what goes into modern day music. This includes the production and covering topics surrounding the realm of music.
This is going to include stuff like DAW work, but also modern day controversies and arguments within the world of music. Now, before we deep dive into our content, we want to take a few minutes and tell you our stories.
I have my own music production company called Never Old Ever Music Productions, LLC. In this company, I do music production, mixing, beat making, and lyricist composing. I also DJ on the side. That's my little side hustle, not my main gig. Thank you. But the whole point is that I want to learn more about mixing. I want to get into that world, and I'm here to learn.
I'm part of Spice Runners Beats LLC with my identical triplet brother, who's at Drexel right now studying in Philly. I'm currently involved with making beats, writing lyrics, audio engineering, and talking about all things music. And I love all styles, but I mostly work in rap, hip-hop, and R&B.
I'm a producer coming out of South Portland, Maine. I started producing at around the end of 2019, and I got no sign of stopping soon. So I believe my beats can best be described as like a journey through your ears with strength, passion, ambition, creativity.
That's right.
And desire. So, I mean, sounds corny, but hey.
Nah, that's what we do. Hey, man, so we all met, I believe it was Physics of Sound.
Yeah, it was first.
So first day of school, we all took a class called Physics of Sound. We're still in this class. It's going to be here for our fall 22 term. And we all met. We all sat at the same table. And then we found out we're all like the same major. We were like, what?
Yeah.
And it just grew from there, so.
Yeah, gotta make the podcast now. We were talking about that. We were like joking around about a podcast at first, and then we like.
Nah, but it got serious.
Man,
We got
what?
into it.
Like most people talk about it and they
Never
don't ever do it.
They never do it. We were outside doing a project. We had a little experiment we were doing. And I was like, guys, we should do this podcast.
I was like, wait.
You're like, wait. And then they're like,
hold up.
Now Cam was like, let me hop in. Even though we all met first day of school, we never really talked about like how we got into making music. So I want to start off with you, Nailah. How did you get into making music and DJing too? Because that's fire.
Yeah.
Thanks. So I got into making music since I was young. I've always had an ear for it. I always played an instrument. I played recorder, then saxophone, cello, piano, and it just kept going from there. Now I want to get into drums. But what I'm saying is that I always had an ear for music. And I got into wanting to creating beats and get into instruments and putting them together more so my freshman year of high school. And I would start off on GarageBand. I know, but you gotta start somewhere. It was easily accessible. But seriously, you mess around with some cool loops and you can really put something creative together.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it. It's a escape for me. And I love bringing out my creative side. And then DJing, it was interesting. I was watching a Netflix documentary, and it was about the history of rap music.
Oh, okay.
I think I've seen that.
T-Pain was on it.
Yeah.
T-Pain was on it. I was like, okay, let me watch this.
Well, shout out T-Pain. He
Shout
comes through
out.
all the time.
Big shout out to T-Pain. So he was on there. I was like, let me watch this documentary. And what was interesting to me, this is interesting, for a long time in like the early beginning of hip hop, when as hip hop was growing, what made it grow were DJs, like specifically DJs. They would host a party, celebration, have their own venue.
Right.
They'll do this gig, and they would have an upcoming artist who was at first underground or popular perform, and that would get the crowd involved, and they got emceeing with that. So I was like, all these great artists came from DJs mixing their music and then obviously giving them a time to showcase their talents on stage. I said, let me get involved. I am interested in this. And then it taught me how to mix a little bit, which is the realm I want to get into.
Karth, dope producer, man. I want to know how you got into music production, man.
Well, starting off with music, like Nailah, I had an ear for music. My dad, definitely the first musicians that he introduced me to were, he started off with the Beatles, but then he transitioned to like a lot of Motown and soul.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of Ray Charles growing up, a lot of James Brown, and then
and it's truly a big inspiration.
oh,
Definitely.
absolutely. And then what got me into rap, like to be honest, I know that it was low-key embarrassing. The first rap song I ever heard Panda.
Okay.
Oh, okay. No,
That's why when the
Panda's
trap
a good
era,
first-
that was like
hey,
the
Panda
808
was a-
trap
nah,
snare.
Panda
It's a
was
good
big
first
No,
rap
song.
song.
that
It's
was
a good first rap
definitely.
So yeah, no, that was the first rap song I ever heard. Like modern day rap song I ever
Okay.
heard. And I was like,
Yeah.
like Panda. And then what got me really into music production, Antidote by Travis Scott for the first time. And I just heard the 808s were so wide, and I was listening in stereo headphones, so like my whole mind was filled with like just sound. I was like, I got to do it.
It was cool
What
stuff.
Wonder Girl just did, like, oh my god, that beat's crazy.
Woo,
So
Wonder
so-
Girl is dope. Go
yeah.
ahead.
So I've been that was, what was it? That was 6 years ago. So yeah, it's
Been
6
locked in
years.
ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Cam?
Yeah, Cam, what's up? Cam's
Yeah,
a crazy
I mean-
beat maker out here.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, appreciate that. So, I've always just like had a love for music, and I noticed that like I'd always be like analyzing everything that's being put into a song,
Yeah.
and I just found it super cool, and it kind of like changed my way about like how I think about music.
Right.
Actually, my friend across the street, he showed me FL Studio, or actually no, he showed me Ableton. That's what I started on.
Gotcha.
And I moved on to FL Studio, but he showed me that. I started making some stuff, and I don't know, I just couldn't get enough of it, really.
That's it.
So yeah,
Yeah.
just been doing it every day ever since.
Every
So
day, ever
yeah.
since.
We all have that in common. We just get locked in. We just can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
That was well said.
Yeah.
Sometimes
That's
it
the
can be a
truth.
struggle because I'd be like,
Speaking
Yeah,
from
I
the
got-
heart, that, like,
I got homework.
honestly.
I got homework and I'm just making beats.
Exactly. Okay, so
Yeah.
what's your like go-to? I want to say subgenre, but when it comes to hearing a beat, what's your type? What's your different? What are you going for? Melodic? Are you going for something chill, lo-fi, low key? Are you heavy on the 808s? Heavy on the snares?
For me, it's whatever I'm feeling.
Yeah,
I'll
I
feel.
completely agree
just,
on that.
Yeah, I'll just like feel different things, and then I'll just put that into my music. So, I love. There was definitely a phase where I was making like strictly R&B, and I was doing it for placements, but I was also just like, I was just in a certain headspace where I was like,
Yeah.
gotta make some R&B. But then I transitioned to boom bap, and then later it turned into a lot of underground. I'm making a lot of underground type stuff.
Yeah. Mostly, what I'd be making is like, it's solely based on what the wave is currently,
Yeah.
and I just try to stay with the trend sometimes. Although, it is good to like branch off to, like making your own style, making your own stuff. So
Definitely, for sure. I'm into to melodies, melodic background, something crazy with the keys, something crazy with the synthesizers or pianos.
Yeah.
I'm definitely into that. I'm working on putting in my hi-hats and getting my 808s right, but I enjoy those kind of beats where they have like the keys going crazy.
I got an interesting question. Where do you guys see yourself or what do you hope to accomplish during your college career, and then afterwards? Like, what are your goals right now?
Okay, I hope to accomplish certifications. I want to be certified in Pro Tools, certified in Dante. I want my certifications, and I want to be able to say I can mix. I have skills in different DAWs as well. So Pro Tools is industry standard. I have to know Pro Tools.
Right.
And then Logic Pro as well. But it's important to understand each DAW as well. What is going on? What's a compressor? What does it actually do? And then after college, I want to be a mixing engineer under a label for sure. And I want to also work on my artistry, because I'm not only a mixing engineer, but I am an artist as well.
Right.
Word. That's awesome. Yeah. So for me, I think it would be really cool to get some placements, and it doesn't really matter if you're on the charts. There are a bunch of good producers, bunch of amazing producers, top producers in the world that don't even make it on the charts, and
Right.
I just want to be able to get some placements and make connections, and yeah.
I basically have the same goals. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, definitely Pro Tools certified. That's a really big goal of mine as of right now, for the college career. But I also have like small time goals, like just for like next few years. Like I want to make it. Elon University has this thing called what's called Limelight.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like this own little like collective of engineers, musicians, and producers, and I want to be a part of the limelight. I want to.
I do too. Yeah.
I want to mix a live show.
Okay.
That would be really fun.
Mixing for the house.
Right. I want to learn how to DJ. I want to just like pull up.
She got us into that.
I want to pull up. I want to pull up to like a frat party and just be the DJ.
You want to just go crazy, get that kind of. It
was
feels
gonna
good. You want to get the whole. You want to get everybody pumped and moving.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely a good time, to say the least. But
and then to Cam's point, placements are big, but I also want to I want to create a community of producers, musicians, engineers, all of that. Like musicians,
Exactly.
just like create a mini community and share your expertise, share your sounds type of stuff. You know, that's also a mini goal.
It's so important. I know I'm about to get into English. Bear with me, y'all. But the book Factfulness, specifically when it was such a small little point in the story. But the author was saying people who can play guitar, the statistic for people who can play guitar is important. And he explained why. He said if you can play guitar, that means you're able to play an instrument. Being able to play an instrument means you're able to show your creativity and be productive.
Right.
That hit me different. So back to Karthik and Cam's point, we're going to make this opportunity of creating music into something bigger. It's not just sitting down being able to use shortcuts and put a beat together.
Right.
It's more than that. People use this as a way to finally show themselves and be creative to the world. And it's important that people get the opportunity to do that.
100% agree.
Right.
100%.
Music is art. Art is self-expression, and I think music is a great mode.
It's a great way to express yourself.
It's a great mode of self-expression.
Exactly.
And you can obviously tell that any kind of emotions within a piece of music. So I think that's why I gravitated towards it. Towards it so much, just because I'm able to express myself fully through music instead of articulating through words.
Universal language.
Yeah. Universal language for us.
Definitely.
Well, like we were saying, this is our introductory episode. In the next 2 weeks, we're gonna come up with some more content. I think what's our topic for next week? Dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, I thought we should.
CKN.PODCAST.
Bro.